Today's reading is from John chapter 18, verses 28 to 40. They led Jesus then from Caiaphas to the Roman governor's palace. It was early morning. They themselves didn't enter the palace because they didn't want to be disqualified from eating the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and spoke. "What charge do you bring against this man?" They said, "If he hadn't been doing something evil, do you think we'd be here bothering you?" Pilate said, "You take him. Judge him by your law." The Jews said, "We're not allowed to kill anyone." This would confirm Jesus' word, indicating the way he would die. Pilate went back into the palace and called for Jesus. He said, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "Are you saying this on your own, or did others tell you this about me?" Pilate said, "Do I look like a Jew? Your people and your high priests turned you over to me. What did you do?" "My kingdom," said Jesus, "doesn't consist of what you see around you. If it did, my followers would fight so that I wouldn't be handed over to the Jews. But I'm not that kind of king, not the world's kind of king." Then Pilate said, "So are you a king or not?" Jesus answered, "You tell me. Because I am a king, I was born and entered the world so that I could witness to the truth. Everyone who cares for truth, who has any feeling for the truth, recognizes my voice." Pilate said, "What is truth?" Then he went back out to the Jews and told them, "I find nothing wrong in this man. It's your custom that I pardon one prisoner at Passover. Do you want me to pardon the king of the Jews?" They shouted back, "Not this one, but Barabbas." Barabbas was a Jewish freedom fighter. So here we are, at Good Friday. Good for all humanity and all of creation, if you believe the Christian story. Or an all-in-all, incomprehensively brutal Friday, if you're Jesus. And that's the thing, isn't it? This is a story in a book, the Bible. A collection of many different types of literature and stories. Yeah, there's historical evidence for somebody called Jesus, who was a bit of a radical Jewish leader. But was he the Son of God? The Messiah? Or was he just a naughty boy who caused trouble for the elites? So they had him killed. Did his death achieve atonement at one-ment between all humanity and God? Or was it just a horrific yet ultimately meaningless death? You see, social commentators, sociologists, people like that, say that we live in a postmodern world. Gone is the validity of big truths, meta-narratives, things like religion. There are now many truths. Heck, in a world of Trumpian fake news, is there even any truth anymore? Maybe we're all a bit like Pilate, asking, what is truth? You see, we're free to decide our own truths, bit like that quote attributed to Nye Bevan, worth remembering him at the minute, set up the NHS. A quote that became the title for the 5th studio album by the Manic Street Preachers. This is my truth. Now, tell me yours. Maybe to find God's truth, a truth of love and redemption and hope, even in a story of apparent death and despair and desolation and isolation. Maybe it takes a leap of faith. If you've already put your faith in God's truth, then how can you share the truth you found as good news for people, especially at this time? And if you haven't taken the leap of faith, my question is, are you ready to jump?
Blessed be you, lonely God, who knows our aloneness when the midday sun hides black and the weeping rainy thunder cracks. Shelter me as I face the world this day. Praise to you, forsaken one, for huddling with me in the smooth-walled corner of abandonment. Praise to you for suffering with me the ruthless grief for the loved ones lost too soon. For knowing my pain, praise to you. God, who holds the whole world in your hands, hear my lamentation as I rise this day. Hold me when I am weak and lost, as you hold the world's lostness. Hold me in my anxiety and those who wait with worry pacing the floor. Hold me when I hear the news I dread and those who stare blankly at the wall. Hold those who weep and the dry-eyed who are numb. Hold me when I feel unsafe and those who fear inside their own home. Hold me when I try to kill my pain and those who live to fix theirs each day. Hold me when I doubt and those who've lost their faith in goodness. Hold those of us marginalised by a centre we never defined. Hold us when our value is unseen or maligned. Hold us when our dreams get trampled on or never came true. Hold all the lonely hearts and hurting souls in this strange cold world, I pray. Hold each and every one of us as we make it through this day. O love divine, do not go silent in those times and places where relief does not come with the morning. Be with those bloated with hunger, too weak to fend. Be with those rebuilding to survive the damage untold by wind, earth, fire or flood. Be with those whose lives have been strewn apart by terrorists and warmongers and disease. Though you may go silent on our questions, do not go absent with your love. Keep aflame the hope of the broken and the peacemakers as they struggle against the darkness this day. The blessing of God on my strife within, the blessing of God on the conflict without, the blessing of God on the patterns that chain, the blessing of God on the chains that bind us all. And at this day's start, God's protection for our world.